अब ठीक है. So next method to find the root of your transcendental equations, or you say polynomial equations, Newton-Raphson method. So as you know that when we are interested to find the root by numerically, we just check the value of the function at two different points where function having the value with opposite signs. Then we say the root is lies between the point where the function having the opposite signs. As in your bisection also we do the same thing, and in your regular falsi method also. So here also we can get the just idea where the function having the opposite sign, and then we can choose any point lies between a and b. Either we may choose a, we may choose b, we may choose any point lies between a and b. We assume that point as your x0 be the first approximation of the root of equation fx is equal to 0. And if x1 is your x0 plus h be the exact root, we just assume that your exact root is your x1, which is nearly equal to your x0, so that your x0 is this one. That is your first approximation or assumption. And suppose your this x1 is your exact root. We just suppose that. So the difference between these two, that is your x1 minus x0. That difference is called your h. So from this we may assume that x1 is your x0 plus h. So in the starting we just assume that the x0 be the approximate root of the equation. Let x1 be the next approximation or your exact root, you say x0 plus h. Then we know that the if it is exact root, the value of function at x1 is 0. So we assume fx1 is equal to 0. So x1 is your f x0 plus h. Now we know that your Taylor series for your this fx0 plus h, and Taylor series is the value of function at original point, that is fx0 plus h into f dash x0 by 1 factorial plus h square by 2 factorial f double dash x0 plus on. This is left side is your Taylor series expansion of this function only. As h is your very small quantity, we know that we always neglect the higher term of the small quantity, so we neglect the higher power of h here. So we neglect the h square, h cube, so on, higher power. So we are, after neglecting, we are left with your only first two term of this series, that is fx0 plus h f dash x0 is equal to 0. So if we rewrite this, we shift your fx0 to the right hand side with negative sign, we get this one divided by f dash x0. So that give you a h. So if we put the value of h in your this x1, so that give you a x1 minus fx0 divided by f dash x0. Similarly, if we start with your x1 like x0, we again start with your x1 and assume your x2 is your better approximation of the root, or you say exact root. Then we say yeah, fx2 is equal to 0 because it is a better approximation, or you say exact root. So in that case also we put here on the same way, yeah, x1 plus h. Again we expand the Taylor series expansion on the left hand side, or neglecting the higher power, we get the same result, but in such a way the left side get your value of x2, right side x1 minus fx1 divided by f dash x1. So on, in the same way, if we proceed, we get the n plus 1th approximation of the root, which is equal to your xn minus fxn divided by f dash xn. So this is known as your approximation of the root by Newton-Raphson formula, or also known as your Newton's iteration formula, or normally known as your Newton's formula also. So this method is used for the large value of the derivatives, because when derivative is small, small means near about zero, suppose. So you know that the derivative is slope. So if this is your curve, any curve, and derivative of the slope, if this is zero, zero means your slope is zero, slope zero means your the line is parallel to x-axis, that means it never touch your x-axis. So if it never touch your x-axis, that means there is no root lies at that point. So Newton-Raphson work only when we have the large value of your f dash, not the small value, right? So for the small value, this method fails. As such, Newton method is a very good method. It's very fast method, as its rate of convergence is 2 also. But it fails if your derivative of your function at point, that means slope, is 0, or you say nearly 0. So how we can calculate the rate of convergence of your this Newton-Raphson method? We may discuss the rate of convergence also. So Newton methods has second order, or you say quadratic convergence. How we say that the rate of convergence is the quadratic convergence? Suppose your xn differ from the root alpha by a small quantity epsilon. So this is your xn. So here it is a typing error. I think it should be xn. So that means your xn, which is approximation of root, which is equal to jack root plus some error, or that some error or the difference is equal to epsilon naught. We suppose that here. So similarly, your next approximation of the root is your suppose xn plus 1 with your jack root and some error epsilon n plus 1. So we know that by Newton's formula, your root approximation root is your this one xn plus 1. So if we put the value of xn plus 1 here, that give you a alpha plus epsilon n plus 1 is equal to xn, then approximation value of your xn is your alpha plus epsilon n minus f xn. Xn means your alpha plus epsilon n, and divided by f dash xn, that is alpha plus epsilon. Now we cancel out your alpha both side. Now we are left with epsilon n plus 1 is equal to epsilon n minus f alpha plus epsilon n divided by f dash alpha plus epsilon n. Again we apply the Taylor series on your upper part and lower part also, numerator and denominator. So Taylor series at this point is your f alpha plus change, that is epsilon n here, f dash alpha divided by 1 factorial, 1 by 2 factorial epsilon square f double dash alpha, so on up to infinity, divided by numerator part. Here the function is your f dash, so function at point alpha plus epsilon n, first derivative of function function is alpha dash f dash, so first derivative is f double dash. Similarly, epsilon square f triple dash, so on. We assume here alpha is your exact root. So if alpha is root, so f alpha is equal to 0. So this value is 0. So if we put f alpha is 0, this value is 0. So we are left with remaining this term with this. So we get this one. Now here, if you take the LCM here, so you see here, after taking LCM, epsilon n f dash alpha, which is cancelled with this first term because minus sign goes inside, this become minus, this also become minus. In second term, when you take the LCM here, it is epsilon n square f double dash alpha. So that is your epsilon n square, or this is also containing epsilon n square 1 by 2 with minus sign, because outside this we have the minus sign here. So plus minus is minus. So we get here epsilon n square minus 1 by 2 epsilon n square. We take f double dash alpha outside the bracket. So that 1 by 2 right here. Plus so on up to infinity we have the term, but we neglect the higher term as epsilon n is your small quantity. So after that we get here this part as it is, and also here we neglect the higher term. So here also derivative is a change, we neglect this term also, because small quantity in denominator part also make the quantity very large, so we neglect this part also. So we are left with epsilon square by 2 alpha double dash divided by alpha dash. So if you see here, the epsilon n plus 1 is proportionate to square of your previous ever error, because if xn is your approximation of root, alpha is exact root, so that is the error in that. So it is square of your previous error. So that's why it is square of previous error. It square of previous error is every time your error is squaring, right? So that's why it's called as your convergence is your quadratic convergence, right? So we say that the Newton-Raphson having the rate of convergence is 2. Now geometrical interpretation of your Newton's method. We assume that x naught be the point near the root alpha. That is first approximation, we assume that of the equation fx is equal to 0. Then if we suppose this is your equation of the curve, and we assume that this is first approximation of the root, that is x naught. So if it is first approximation of the root, we draw the tangent line here. So if we draw the tangent line here at point A, that tangent line touches your x-axis at some point. At that point is called your next approximation of the root. So that point x1 is called your next approximation to the root. So first of all, when you draw the tangent, we take the equation of tangent line, which is, we know that here at point f x naught fx naught is your y minus y1. Here y1 is your this, or you say y minus y naught. Y naught is your fx naught here is equal to slope. So slope means derivative of function at that point into x minus x naught. So this is equation of this tangent line. And we know that this tangent line cut is your x-axis at x1. So touches your x-axis at x1 means the value of the function at x is equal to x naught is equal to 0. So if we put in this equation of tangent line x is equal to x naught, if we put here using this, we can see here this becomes 0. Sorry, not this will become 0. This this y becomes 0. We got as this it cut is x-axis, so we assume that it cut x-axis at x1. Sorry, I'm needed to write here x1. So we put here x is equal to x1, not x naught. So if you put here x1, it is your x1. Y at x1 it becomes your 0 because at x1 it touches your x-axis. We assume this is your first approximation of the root. So we rewrite this. So we divide this at this side. So that give you your fx naught divided by f dash and we shift this x naught to the left hand side. So that give you this one, which is equal to your x1. So which is your first approximation of the root. So after that, we just join this line from x1 to your at point a1, and the coordinate of this a1 is your x1 and your y1, or y1 means you say your fx1. So at this point again we draw the tangent line. So at this line again we draw the tangent line. So that tangent line again touches your a point on x-axis, that is your x2. So again we draw the tangent line at your a1 and put x is equal to x2 because x2 is a point on x-axis. So y at x2 is 0. Then we get the another approximation of the root, that is your on the same line, which is your x2 is equal to x1 minus fx1 divided by f dash x1. So in the same way, if we proceed, we get the n plus 1th approximations. So in that case, we write here n plus 1 and here write set n, n, and n. Right? So doing this, we get the your Newton-Raphson formula. So repeating this process, we approach to the root, because when you approach the tangent, so you see that by after multiple result, you get the result near to this exact root, that is your alpha. Hence, the method consists in replacing the part of curve between a naught and axis by mean of tangent to the curve at a naught. So this geometrical interpretation is also the proof of Newton-Raphson method. So it's your choice. In case of the proof, you can go with your this geometrical interpretation, or you can go with your the proof using your Taylor series. So it's your choice how you can proceed for the proof. So this is your final Newton-Raphson formula. Now we may discuss one example on that Newton-Raphson. So find the positive root of x4 minus x is equal to 10 correct to the 3 decimal places. So first thing, when you require the root up to 3 decimal places, kindly do your calculation at least for the 4 decimal places, right? It is always advisable go for the 1 extra decimal at least using Newton-Raphson method. Another thing, if you see this example, Here we have the polynomial equation of degree 4. The equation with degree 4 means it has 4 roots. But in all numerical methods, at in a one go, we are able to find only one root. So here we are interested to find only the positive root. So to check the positive root, we just choose your function only and search for the points where this function having opposite signs. Means we are interested to find the points where this function get the opposite sign. Just put here x is equal to 1. So if you put here x is equal to 1, it is 1 minus 1 minus 10. That is 1 minus 1 is 0 minus 10. That is minus 10. That is negative. So 1 you put your x is equal to 2 here. So 2 raised to a 4 is your 16. Minus 2, that is 14. Minus 10, that is 4. So that is your positive. So that means by the intermediate value theorem, if your function having opposite sign between 2 points, that is 1 and 2 here, the root of the function, or you say the function touches your x-axis at least once. So at least one root lies between your 1 and 2. So we assume that here at least one root lies between 1 and 2. So we are trying to find out that root. So particularly Newton-Raphson, to initialize your Newton-Raphson, we require only one x naught, one approximation. So we use your first approximation as x2 here. It's totally your choice. You can choose 1, you can choose 2, you can choose any point between this interval 1 and 2. You may choose 1.1, you may choose 1.5, you can choose 1.4. It's totally your choice. You get the same result always. Just difference is that you may go for the 1 or 2 step more, right? So totally your choice, doesn't matter. You can choose 1, 2, 1.5, 1.2, anything else you like, you can choose. So if you take the derivative of this, that is your 4x cube minus 1, and the formula for Newton-Raphson is your xn minus fxn divided by f dash xn. So as initial approximation, we put here n is 0. That means this n is 0. That means we get the x1 as your first approximation. X naught minus fx naught divided by f dash x naught. So x naught we assume he is 2. We put here 2. And value of the function at 2 is your already calculated here. That is 4 divided by, we put 2 here also, that in derivative of function, that is 4 2 cube minus 1, that is 8 into 4, 32 minus 1 is 31. So 2 minus 4 by 31 is your 1.871. So this is now next approximation of root. In Newton-Raphson method, no need to check whether now next interval is lies between your this and 1 or 1.871 or 2. No need to check this. You just take this as your first approximation and do your calculation for your second approximation. For that we put here n is equal to 1 here. So that is 2, 1, 1, 1. So now we get your formula this one. So we put x1 is your 1.871. Same 1.871 you just needed to put in your function, that is x4 minus x minus 10. Use your scientific calculator for this, right? So you put here divided by, put the same 1.871 in your derivative, 4x cube minus 1. After using calculating for your calculator, you get the value 1.856. So now choose this your second approximation. For third approximation, you put here n is equal to 2. That give you x3. Right side is your x2 minus fx2 divided by f dash x2. So put your x2 here. Value of the function at your new approximation 1.856 divided by derivative of the function at new approximation, that is 1.856. 1.856. After solving, you get your, this should be equal to sign here, that is typing error, 1.856. So if you see, last two roots, last two values are approximately same. So if these two values are same, you get your this result because these are same up to 3 decimal places. Also, if you see here, you get the solution only in your third approximation. While in your bisection method, you needed to do the calculation up to sometime 10, 12 approximation. In your regular falsy methods, you needed to do calculation for 7 to 8 approximation at least sometime, right? So for the same question, you can try both or all these three methods. You see the difference. The Newton-Raphson is fastest out of these three, right? But it has one drawback, that it fails when your the derivative of the function at point is nearly zero or it is equal to zero. So it failed at that time. But on the other hand, bisection method is never fail. So both having their own importance, we never compare these two, but when we say fastest one, we go for the Newton-Raphsons. So one more example, that is 3x is equal to cos x plus 1. So keeping in mind, in this particular example, we have trigonometry function. So first of all, kindly convert your calculator, scientific calculator, into your radian, right? So you needed to do all calculation in radian quantity only, right? So because here cos x, this x is radian quantity, not in your degree. So if you consider the x, so needed to convert that radian value in a degree first, then you can do, or you use your calculator, just using your button of radian, you can shift your calculator into a radian, then you do your calculations, else you get the wrong result. So that is your rewrite this 3x minus cos x minus 1. We already done this question in your, I think, bisection method and also regular falsy method. So for that you can check your previous lectures. So put here 0 in your calculator, you get minus 2. You put here 1, you get your value, that is 1.4597, that is positive. So at 0 it is negative value of function, at 1 it is positive value, that means roots lie between your 0 and 1. So you can choose your first approximation x naught, any value, maybe 0, maybe 1, or lies between 0 and 1. You may assume 0.2, 0.4, 0.5, 0.6, 0.7, it's totally your choice, right? So just an idea you can take. Here it is minus 2, that is 2 unit differ from your 0, and it is 1.4. The solution is more nearer to your 1 except your 0. So this is just an idea, rough idea. So it's your choice. You can use 0.5, 0.6, 0.7. So here particularly we are choosing your x naught is equal to 0.6. So just put this everything, put here x naught, that is 0.6. You calculate this value, you put 0.6 here, you get f dash at 0.6. So your Newton approximations is your Newton's iterative formula. Newton-Raphson formula says xn plus 1 is equal to xn minus fxn divided by f dash xn. So put your fxn, that is your 3 minus cos x, 3x minus cos x minus 1, divided by derivative. The derivative of this is your 3x is 3, and minus cos is your plus sign. So you may use this as a formula, or you may little bit calculate yourself here. So we take the LCM here, that is your 3x, and this 3x get cancelled, and your x sin x, and this minus minus plus cos x. So x sin x plus cos x minus and minus 1, that is plus 1, divided by 3 plus sin x. So now this become your formula, iterative formula. So just put any 0. Here we get x1, and in right hand side we get all x n is equal to x naught only. So now we have the x naught, sin x naught, cos x naught plus 1. So keep in mind this x naught should be your radian quantity. So shift your formula calculator in your radian value. So just put here 0.6 everywhere. Just click on your calculator after substituting. You get the 0.6071. Now this is your next approximation to the root. So put in your formula n is equal to 1. Once you put n is equal to 1, the formula converted into x2, and all right side x becomes your x1. So put your x1 as your 0.6071, and after solving, which give you again 0.6071 up to 4 decimal places. If you check, both values are equal. So that is your root by Newton Raphson formula. You can try your this example. X log 10x is equal to 1.2. So up to 5 decimal it is asking. So you may do your calculation for 5 decimal or 6 decimal, it's your choice, right? So okay, we may discuss this in a coming lecture. So I am stopping. Thank you for listening.